Hey everybody, it's Drew here, Slab It Up. I wanted to do a video today talking about my overall experience grading with Pure Graded X. If you caught the live stream the other night, then you see that I got my 20 card bulk submission order back from them. Overall, I was very happy with the process and how everything went, but I wanted to get a little deeper into the overall process from start to finish and whether or not I will be using Pure Graded X again. I am just one opinion. You might have a different experience, but I can only talk about my experience. So these cards were gone full days, not business days, 23 days. There was also 2 days in there to on the way back. Those cards sat for 2 days in a warehouse, not their fault. So 21 total days, which would be 15 business days there and back graded in my hand. So I wanted to just first, I'll talk about customer service. I've said this in past videos. Their customer service, in my opinion, is second to none. It was very easy to get on the website to submit the cards. First, what you do is you select add to your cart what it is, the package that you want, whether it's 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards, or I did the bulk card of bulk submission of 20 cards. So it was very easy to get that order in, put the cards in, the years, the dates. They don't ask for a predetermined value of the card or a post-graded value of the card. They don't take any kind of percentages after the card is graded. It is strictly the grading fee and then $5 extra if you do want to upgrade to a custom label. So I submitted that order within 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. I got a reply email with that submission form to submit those cards. After I submitted that, I got another email telling me the address where to send the cards. The next day or maybe 2 days later, I sent the cards in, took 3 business days to get to them. They received those cards. And while those cards were on the way to Pure Graded X, which they are in Arkansas, while they were on the way, I had already had an artist who it was Costa Rica card collector, Thomas, had already reached out to me with the labels and asking for my approval. Now, I don't know if this has changed since then, but my only issue with this process is you get the sheet back that you sent that does have the list of your cards, and then it has the labels in the same order, but you have to use memory to go back and say, yeah, I think that card would look good on that. Yeah, I think that would work. So the way I handled it was, hey, look, I trust you to make these look good. I've seen Thomas's work. He is a phenomenal artist. For any of you that don't know him, Costa Rica card collector on YouTube and Instagram. He's amazing. Go look at some of his art. It's phenomenal. So I trusted him. Yep, that looks good. Sure, let's go with it. And so that was cool to already be starting on the labels before they even receive the cards. I thought that was awesome. So I got another email when they received the cards. It says, your cards have arrived in Arkansas. That's great to know. I wasn't sitting there every day checking the tracking, making sure. So it was a big relief. They also send you a picture of the envelope I sent them in a bubble mailer of the bubble mailer to make sure. And I emailed back, yep, that's definitely mine. So that was really cool. I don't know of another company that does that, but I only have experience with PSA and SGC. So anyhow, after that, the next process was the grading process. I got another email about a week later saying your cards have been graded. They are going on to the slabbing process. So it took a few more days after the slabbing process, and then the cards were back on the way. I got an email saying, hey, here's an invoice for your shipping. The shipping back was roughly $20, but that did include insurance for about $1,000 for those cards to get back. So I thought that was really cool too. I'm happy to pay the insurance because if something happened, I would not want to be left with nothing. So I was more than happy to pay $8 or $10 for the insurance process. So anyways, communication, just the overall process of getting the cards there. And then, like I said, them communicating back with me, I 100% give it a 10 out of 10. It's second to none. I just never doubted what was going on or thought anything shady was going on. They were constantly updating me with where my cards were in the process. So I thought that was awesome. So I'll move on next to the product. When the product got back, the slabs are exactly like a PSA slabs. I believe the exact dimensions. I am not personally the biggest fan of PSA slabs, or that just the as thin as they are. Some people may love them because I know you can get more into a storage box, or for whatever reason you may just love them. Obviously, I grade with PSA because for other reasons, but I do like the quality of slabs that Beckett and HGA have to offer. I just think they're a little heavier weight if you were to drop a slab, etc. It's just a personal preference for me, so I'm not going to knock them for that. It certainly does the job. It encapsulates the card. They look great. It is just the feel and a feeling of a little less quality slab if I have my choice. So that's certainly no knock on them if they choose to stick with this size slab. Hey, have at it. It's not a big enough deal. It's going to change my mind of whether or not I would or would not grade with them. So the overall feeling of the slab, just it's a PSA slab. Second, onto the label. I picked a few out here now that I've had a couple days to kind of reflect and spend with the cards and see which ones were like some of my favorites and which ones I wasn't really too crazy about. So I will definitely start here with some of my favorite ones. I guess I'll start with let's go with the like number 5 here. This would be one being my favorite. Number 5. This was a Kevin Durant StarQuest rookie from Upper Deck. It was we'll talk about the grading here in a second, but this one did get a 10. I got 2 10s out of 20. So we'll talk about the grading after this, but I just thought he did a really good job with the X that's behind Durant and the StarQuest. I really like how he incorporated that into the label. The card's like a mint green color, and I'm really glad he didn't go with like a mint green label. I think it would just be like a little mint green overkill. So I think he did a really good job on this. And also where it got a 10, somebody did reach out to me and said, if I were to get any 10s, would I like subgrades? And I said, sure. They will do subgrades on a card upon request. So if you request to have subgrades on your cards on the front or the back, they will do that for you. If you don't want subgrades, the subgrades are on their pop report when you go to their website. So next, I would say this card wasn't even mine. They were so kind, and guys, I appreciate you if you're watching this video or you watch this video in the future. They sent me 2 bonus cards. Let's see here. This is one of them. I guess I can just explain the other one to you, but this was one of them, and it actually turned out to be one of my favorite ones that I got. This is another Durant in his Sonics uniform. The reason I like this one so much, not just the fact that it's like not the cheapest card in the world. They actually maybe spent some money on me, dudes. I mean, that's really cool. I mean, this is like a quarter of my submission cost back. And I'm still giving honest feedback. They're not like bribing me to say great things about them. This video is going to be, transparent, and I want to give honest feedback because if they want to grow as a company, they need to hear the things that people may not like about them. So I'm not going to sit here and say this is my favorite slab. It's a nice heavyweight. It is what it is. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about it. But it was so cool of them to send me a couple of SP, which I don't know if that's short print or just SP is for special slabs. This is SP0019, the 19th card ever graded through Pure Graded X. Dude, that is cool. I'll never sell this card. I'll hang on to this card absolutely as long as they're a company, and I wish them nothing but the best. I hope hope this is the start of something great. But why I like this slab so much is, one, you can see the holographic label there. I apologize. The light is, I need to do something about the lights in here so you can, and maybe just a better, I'm using a 1080p webcam here, but I could probably, get something for card reveals that's a little bit cleaner and definitely with less glare. But if you can see behind the 2 T's in Seattle, there is the Space Needle. And I just think that's so clever and cool, man. And this design here is called a Court X design. And that leads me to my next point, is that I did not know, I did Splash X designs on most of my cards, except for the ones that I upgraded the label. And I did not know you needed to request a Court X. I was under the impression that it was a Court X with a splash. So duly noted, the next time I submit, I definitely want some of these Court X. But that is just a super cool slab. I think they hit it out of the park with this one. And thank you guys again for that. That's so cool of you. He's one of my favorite players. Number 3 would be Jalen Hurts, pink mosaic rookie card. They put some, he put some pink smoke up here that just really makes this card pop. And I can only imagine being an artist who has to find this fine line of not distracting away from the card, but actually adding touch to the card. You don't want to put a label in there where the label looks so much cooler than the card. So it's a tightrope that I'm sure these guys have to walk. And I just think he did a great. He completed the task on this one, because I'm super happy about the way that one turned out, that Jalen Hurts. So number two, this is number two and number one together. You could pick either one of these two as far as which one would be my favorite, but number two, I'm going to go with Jordan guarding Kobe from, I believe, 05. No, 98. I'm sorry. Not 98 Upper Deck. Jordan guarding Kobe there. And I just think Thomas did a great job with this label, matching it up to the colors. I mean, this card, I don't know if I'll say I'll never leave my PC, but man, it's just so new and cool to me. It's like a new toy that you get, and it's just like, man, nobody's taking this thing out of my hand. That is just such a cool label. And I did pay. You can see the 23, the 8 and the 23 here. I paid the $5 for the upgraded label and have absolutely no regrets for paying that for this label, because he hit a double grand slam on that one. And I'll say the same on this one right here. Absolutely killed this one. This is the Michael Jordan. This is the 2009 Upper Deck Jordan with the Scarface movie cover it's hard to see, but that 23 in that label is holographic. And man, this thing turned out amazing. I absolutely love the way that this thing turned out. It's so cool. It's one of my favorite ones. Actually, they used it on their website, and I'm more than happy to have. I'm actually thrilled to have that card on their website, because people should see that slab. I really did have a hard time finding slabs or the labels that I really wasn't crazy about. It was tough because I was trying to do 5 and 5, and I don't think I even found 5 that I wasn't crazy about. And this isn't a knock on them. They send you the labels, as I stated earlier in the video, for you to approve, and I approved all these labels. So it's my fault, but in the future, I will be a little more careful. And this certainly isn't, I think I wasted my money. It's just not what my expectations were. I think we think sometimes that when we send things off, like, man, it's going to come back, and we always use the term fire. Man, that slab's going to be fire, and some of these just weren't like fire in my eyes. And maybe I'm being a little bit too picky, but I definitely do want to give some just some feedback on the way that it's just the way that I feel. It's one man's honest opinion. So right, wrong, or indifferent, it is what it is. So first one is this Luka. It's an expensive card, and maybe I should have gone with the $5 upgrade on this label. It's his premier level select rookie, got a 9. Obviously it's a silver card with with like a gold, some gold inlay in there, and then his jersey's blue. But the label is pretty much just, it's like all blue with a little bit of splash over here, which that's what a splash label is. It is a touch of another color, but it almost just feels a little bit like too blue to me. And it certainly doesn't, it's not a, it doesn't contrast so much from the card that like there's anything negative about it. And maybe it's a personal attachment that I have to this card that I just, like, my expectations were a little bit higher. I think maybe it's just a little too plain of a label for what I was looking for this card. So that one is that one's on me, because again, I approved all these labels. The next one would be this LeBron James. I think this was the first one that I actually got out of the package. And so it's a white card, as you can see. There are some lines sorry guys, let's see here. There's some lines coming off underneath LeBron's legs that just shoot straight out. They're white as well, so you're not going to be able to see it in here, but there's just bars up here in this label that kind of remind me of like prison bars or something. I don't really know, and not being an artist, I don't know what I'm missing on the card of why those bars would be there. Also, the main two colors when I look at this card would be the gold and the white, and I just don't see very much gold in this label. I do see, obviously, he's got let's see, what is that up in there? 23 in the background, and that is in gold, and it's subtle back there. Red, obviously, for his headband is red. The lettering on his jersey, you've got some red down here. but I don't know. I paid $5 to upgrade this label. It's definitely a cool label, but and I don't want to say it was like a swing and a miss, but I don't know. I don't know what all you could do with this label. Like I said, I'm not an artist, but I don't understand where the bars like came into it, and maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. It's cool. It's different, but I feel like maybe I could have gone back and forth a couple times and said, "Hey, can we try something else?" And I probably would have. So um, next up, let's see here, Jimmy Buckets. I definitely would have upgraded a label on this one. This card is predominantly silver and red with some white inlay there on the uni, and the 21 is in black, and we got some blue up in here in the label, and I don't really know where the blue comes into play and why we did red, white, and blue in here. It's, you know, that's, I just don't understand it. Maybe it's because of the sorry, everything's backwards, but maybe it's because the pure graded X up here that it's like accenting that. But the card is pretty much just silver and red. And I'm not real sure where the blue comes from in there. So that's another one that it just, I don't know. It's not, again, it's not that I hate it. It's not that like, oh man, it looks terrible. I just, and I'm nitpicking here too. Like I said, it was hard for me to find, you know, I think I got 4 here that like, I was just like, I don't know. It's not my favorite. This is another one I paid the upgraded, $5 label for. We have this semicircle up in here, or this little like loop right here is in gold. The only gold I can find in this card would be like the trim on the Cavaliers, on LeBron's shorts there and his jersey leading up. We have Bulls versus Cavs right here, and then the lettering down in here, it really, I don't even know if you can see it, but the lettering is almost the same color as the bottom of the label itself. And again, I'm sorry guys, I'm definitely going to get a new camera to be able to show you these a little bit better. Especially like I've got some more orders out and stuff, and I don't want to show them like this. It looks like looks pretty bad. So love the card. Don't know if I would you know, spend $5 to have it done like that. Again, I think I would have wanted to get a little more creative when you got not probably, well, in my opinion, definitely, but I guess 2 people could argue it's the 2 best basketball players that have ever lived. So again, I'm not like unhappy with those, but that's just some of the good and in my opinion, like not so good labels that I got back. Some are just home runs, grand slams, and then, you know, some are singles. So again, I would say a 9 out of 10 on the artwork itself, the labels, the way that they make the cards pop. I think I think they have a extremely tough job trying to, again, find that balance from like staying away from tacky, but trying to accent, but not take too much away from the card. So I feel for you guys over there at the the label design department, because that's something that you know, it really takes some experience, and it's certainly not anything I feel like I could ever do, because I just don't have that artistic mind. But that's just a little bit of feedback now that I've had some time to spend with the cards and looking. There was one issue too with a little bit of excess glue on one of the LeBron James. I'm not going to pull it out here because it's honestly, it's so minute and hard to see on camera that I can't even show you, but it's just like a little, like it almost looks like the slab is cracked because some glue ran underneath, but in between the slab itself and the label. And Carson was watching the stream that night. He's like, hey man, send it back, we'll make it right. So that right there tells me that if you are not happy with something, it's not up to your standards, you send it back and they will make it right. So man, that's cool of them to do. As a new company, you kind of have to do those things, but I just want to disclose, excuse me, you know, exactly how I feel about the whole process. So next we will move on to the grading. And I got to tell you, I submitted 2 times in the last 3 months with SGC, and SGC, they grade tougher than SGC. I sent a 13 card submission 60 days ago to SGC, and they got back to me in about 40 days. And this has been a few months ago. 13 cards, I got back 6 10s, 5 9.5s, 1 9, and 1 8.5. And I pre-screened those cards that went to SGC just as I pre-screened these cards that went to pure graded X. I didn't use any different methods. I didn't change anything. a card is a card. There's no acetates in any of the orders, so there's nothing that could be like weird. Yes, there's some that are glossier than others, and there's some that have like a, like that mosaic that could like hide some surface issues. I certainly wouldn't say I'm a professional, but I have a pretty good rate of getting 10s from PSA and SGC. I don't send them stuff that I think is going to come back like an 8 and 8.5. And all my buddies call me to pre-screen their cards, and I'm happy to do it. So I've got a pretty good grasp on the grading game. If you watch the live stream, 85% of everything I got back came back as a 9, which tells me that they are very tough on grading. They're not a new company that's just passing out 10s to help your resale value. So think about that before you submit. I know they're working on something called Graded XU that will be available on their website, and it's going to walk you through the exact process of the way that they grade, so you can avoid getting 8s and 8.5 grades back and anything lower than that. So stay tuned for that for their website. They were saying that's coming soon. So as far as the grading process goes, I would say they are very tough, even tougher than SGC if you want my honest opinion. Now I'm only looking at 20 cards, so I don't have this massive sample size to say that. But again, I use the exact same methods that I would use for SGC, and I got a much, much higher 10 rate with SGC than I did with Pure Graded X. So again, if anybody's thinking that they're just a new company that's fly by night and they're going to just pass out 10s to everybody to increase the value of your slabs, that's certainly not the case. I think they were, fair. Like, it's like, what is fair? Is fair giving you a 10 or is fair giving you an 8? I mean, fair is what the card should grade. Now, I have not taken the time to look up every single card on the pop report. I only got the subgrades back on the 2 10s that I got, because they asked me if I were to get any 10s, would I want subgrades? And I said yes. So I have not gone and looked all the other ones up, but I did feel like I at least had a very solid number of 9.5s and 10s in here. I did get a few 9.5s in there, but again, it was the large majority of this order were 9s, 1 8.5 and 1 8. So anyways, I think that's just about everything. The overall process, I would give them a 9 out of 10. I'll absolutely be submitting with them again. For the money, I have way too many PC cards that I'm like, man, I want that slabbed up, but the card may be blue and I don't want it in a red PSA label. PSA labels are awesome. If you're nothing but a flipper, I completely understand why you wouldn't want to use a custom label company. It just wouldn't really make sense as far as the resale value, and who knows what the future holds for this hobby. I don't know how these slabs will do on eBay. There are some that I do plan on selling. And time will tell, when it comes to that. So I don't look for them to bring PSA value, but if they bring close to HGA value, then that I think that would be great. I think most people would be very happy with paying 20 or less dollars to get your cards graded and have them come back anywhere close to an HGA resale value. I think the hobby would be happy with that. So overall, I'm extremely happy. Again, I'll be using Pure Graded X again in the future. The only knocks I have, like I said, would be some of the labels just really didn't do it for me, but 80% of them did. So, I'll take 4 out of 5. Next time, though, I definitely will pay a little more attention. I do wish when they send those labels that they would have a digital image of that card. So when they ask you to approve that label, you can actually see what that label will look like on your card. And they may be doing that by now. I know Carson said that was something that they were working on a few weeks ago. So if they're not doing it now, I do know that's something that they are planning on doing in the future, and I may hold off until they are doing that in the future before I approve any more labels. So guys, I hope this helps you out. I try to keep this video as short as I can, but I also wanted to give an honest review and my overall experience of using Pure Graded X. So hope everybody has a great rest of your week. And if you have any questions about the process that I didn't cover here, feel free to leave a comment, or if you just have a comment about something that I've said in here, you agree, disagree, I'm always happy to have polite discussions about things, as long as it never turns personal and doesn't go to just a terribly negative place. I hate negativity in the hobby. I think there's enough of it already out there going around that what we can do as individuals is control ourselves and not let ourselves go to that negative place. And I am all about new, fresh businesses and new, fresh ideas coming into the hobby to kind of change that old guard mentality of thinking that PSA and BGS are the only two options that you have when it comes to grading, when it's simply not true. I see people argue it all the time. There is no grading school that people go to. There are four parts in grading a card, and all cards have those four categories. You have a surface, you have corners, you have edges, and you have centering. Every single card has those. So does it take somebody with the eye for that? Absolutely it does. And can somebody be trained to grade a card? Absolutely they can. But there is no card school, or as Ziggy No calls it, they're wizards. That it's we put this idea in our mind that he's been a wizard for 50 years at PSA. He's the best in the business. Well, why can't someone else who has a great eye for all those things be very good in the business at doing what they're doing, as long as they're not doing anything underhanded and shady and backdoor deals and under the table deals as favors for people? I don't really see a problem with trying out a new company and seeing how it goes. So anyways, that's my rant. It's over. I will be using PGX again. And listen, if something happens in the future that I'm not happy with, I'll be the first one to sit here and tell you guys about why I'm unhappy with it, why I think it's unfair, what I think that happened and went wrong. And again, I'm just one man's opinion. So take it or leave it. I love you guys. Thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you on a video very, very soon.